viewers, welcome to another episode of Economy Today on CBRC. My name is Kolawole Itunolua. Joining me in studio is Mr. Akintunde Somi Vincent. You're welcome, sir. He's a lead analyst on CBRC, an educationist, and also an economist. We are bringing to you another interesting topic today that says fuel subsidy, the enemy of Nigerian economy. Fuel subsidy, the enemy of Nigerian economy. As we all know, the word subsidy is any financial support used to promote both social and economic policy so that the country businesses can continue to produce goods and services that will be affordable. As we all know that subsidies comes in form of cash, including interest-free and low-interest loans, grants, insurance, tax breaks, and rent rebates. So why do we think Nigeria is still struggling to achieve some of its set goals and objectives? Why is subsidy an enemy to Nigerian economy? Are the government or federal government not fulfilling their promises to the economy? Why is there still inflation, which results to persistent rises in general price level of goods and services? What has actually happened to Nigerian economy? And who are the enemies of Nigerian economy? I'm going to be welcoming my guest one more time, Mr. Akintunde Somi Vincent. You come on set.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Fine.
Now, let's start with this question. This question has been bothering my mind for so long. I want to ask you, so many people have been hearing the word subsidy, 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 subsidy. So, Mr. Vincent, what is subsidy?
Well, it's so nice to be here today. But in my opinion, I think subsidy, it's the price consumers pays for goods and services that below market price, and it is oftentimes cushioned by those in authority just to make the life of citizens, to make their life better, to make their life easier.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Akintunde. Now to my next question: what are the impacts subsidy has caused to Nigerian economy, especially the fuel subsidy? Well,
in my opinion, the impact of fuel subsidy, it's a little bit, that question is relative in a sense because it has it's like a two-edged sword. Okay. It has a positive impact and its negative impact. But be that as it may, I'll try to do justice to the two together. And I think so far so good. This inflation, it has enriched few number of Nigerians, okay, and has actually create a whole lot of mess on the part of the state of Nigerian. Create a mess on the part of Nigerian government. That's a way to be sincere with ourselves, because fuel subsidy oftentimes it's often paid to contractors who are in the oil and gas industry, just to cushion the humongous amount that is placed on that in that sector. That the humongous amount that is placed on the amount at which petroleum products are exported into the country. Another impact is that it has become a lame excuse on the part of the government. Oftentimes you keep hearing that we are paying this trillion amount of money on subsidy. Yeah. We've not been able to actualize some. We've not been able to do some things. We've not been able to do that. It has become an excuse for them. Yeah. And of course, some Nigerians definitely buy into whatever they are saying. Another one is it has plunged the country into what I call the poverty hub of Africa, because we don't forget at the point in this industrial of Africa, it used to be the giant of Africa, but now are we still the giant of Africa? Even what we produce, what we have on our own soil, would not even cater for the development of our own country. So what I'm saying in essence is, what government ought to do, they are unable to do because of this issue of subsidy. So it has become, it is like a two-edged sword. When we look at the corrupt, some are saying if we let it be, we let subsidy remain, definitely it's going to help the citizens. But has it really helped the citizens? Instead of helping the citizens, that's helped few people. Because so far so good. As we stand now, people are still feeling the effect of lack of basic infrastructure. Our schools are becoming kidnappers' den.
Sure.
Our roads are becoming death trap. Our hospitals are in a state of squalor. No, you will see go to maternity wards of our federal hospitals. You will see that they cannot even cater for a good number of those that are into, and government are not even doing. They are not no policy to check this birth rate at which people are, the rate at which people are giving birth. So, in my opinion, I think this subsidy has just enriched few and make a mess of the country. I don't know if the government are not, maybe they are not being sincere, because I know government can always create wealth, but the moment the government is saying that, see, we are not making the wealth is not available because we are paying this also amount of money to cushion the effect of petroleum products, which is a terrible one. And like I said, maybe in the long run we are still going to get into that, because we have all it takes not to go into this kind of a mess we are in today. I don't see the need when we have functional, when we have refineries that could serve in full-fledged capacity, yet we are still shouting, we are still clamoring on, we are still paying a huge amount of money to some contractors, to some marketers, to some people in the oil and gas industry, just to have the petroleum products.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Vincent. Okay, Mr. Vincent, let's look at the previous governments and the present governments. So I want to ask you, which government has shown huge political will to remove fuel subsidy?
Well, thanks. That question is very. It's a tense question, but I would like to answer from this perspective. In my opinion, I think if you have to look at it critically, it has been the government of President Jonathan.
Oh, that's true.
Because at a point, he announced it. He announced that subsidy should be removed. But what happened? The NLC, the Labour Congress chairman, then they all moved into the streets of Nigeria to protest that subsidy removal. And what were they saying then? They were like, if you're going to remove the subsidy, that things will be very hard for Nigerians, and that is going to plunge the nation into poverty. And after that, the country lose 100 billion naira.
That's true.
100 billion naira. Just imagine 100 billion in the account of the federation up to now. We have so many salaries to pay. I wouldn't want to blame the NLC in a sense, because they are just look at the price today. We are still feeling the brunt. We are still feeling the heat. Not to talk of when petroleum products, PMS is being sold at 500 naira per litre, because government remove subsidy. So my take is that I will keep saying on any program, it has always been my style. The box lies on the table. On the table of the government. You need to be creative. Wealth creation is part of why it's part of the business of governance. Creativity. So the NLC protested. Because they made they raised some fundamental points that, see, if you're to do that, you are going to and even one of the major reasons why I wouldn't want to blame the NLC then was the fact that the standard of living of a common man wasn't increasing. It was very much static and very much stagnant, and then there's a kind of increasing. You are going to remove the subsidy just because you want to save money into the accounts of the federation. And the corruption at that particular point was very endemic. Don't forget, let me conscientize or to reawaken your conscience as regards what happened during that particular period, when we heard about the dead whole. There's one the Anderson Madueke saga, the Adoke saga. Mentions many of them that they were answering questions with the anti-graft agencies. So what I'm saying in essence is, I think, in my opinion, Jonathan. But the one that really baffles me is this administration. How? Because if you are going to do something, just do it. You don't need to. You don't need to push it further. You don't need to push it forward to the administration to the next administration.
Yeah.
Like when the next administration comes in, they have their own plan. They have their whatever they want to do.
Have their plans
So if you want to do it, do it. And if you don't want to do it, just let it be. Enough of just we have gone past that era of deceiving Nigerians. No, we are not. Nigerians are not in for it anymore. Because if you see, as at yesterday, what we had was that I think it should be in the second quarter or the mid of next year that the government will remove subsidy. But this government would have been they would have been out of office. So what is the point? So in my opinion, the person who really took the courageous, who really took the bold step. By the way, who is a leader? Who is a leader? A leader is a man who will take a step of courage. A leader is the one who will take some decisions and will stand by his decisions. A leader is the one who will persuade. And when he's persuading, he's having a father figure role to tell you that, see, I'm saying this from this perspective. Why not let us do it that way? But people will be saying, no, don't let us do it. But he's saying, see, I'm the one driving this, I'm the one piloting this avion, I'm the one driving this car, I'm the one piloting this jet. I can see what we are going to, how this thing will, all those qualities. I don't think we've seen it in this administration, and it's just so terrible.
All right, thank you so much. Now, before we draw the curtain for today's program, I would like to ask you one more question. So I want to ask you this question. Why should a blessing become a curse? Because we have crude oil and refineries, yet we are still suffering from all this. What's your take on that?
I'll quickly answer that question with one popular proverb that says, if you were told, I will just coin it in the form of analogy, that if somebody calls you to somebody have actually made a kind of a pronouncement that you are going to die in the bush, it takes a man to say no. The man will keep trying little by little to get his to retrace his step back to the right track, to the right track where he could just take his little by little. So in my opinion, a blessing becomes a curse because we chose, the government chose to let it be. Look at Dubai. Look at how Dubai. Dubai it has become a tourist destination for everybody.
Sure.
It was because the leaders, they had the will was there, the willpower. What is wrong? Look at our refinery. What it takes to raise it. It's not as if you just want to build it from the scratch. It's already there. All we are talking about is the maintenance. If you are going to maintain and we are producing billions or more than high millions of barrels per day, so be it. So the political will from the side of the government and leadership trait and quality that is required is also, it has become, that's why we need to, this period, we need to open our eyes very well. We need to look at people's ideology. We need to look at the antecedents. If you look at what is happening in our mainstream politics, you will fear God. You will even fear for human life. The way politicians are going about this business of governance. So, like I said, we just need to. Why it has become a curse is because we poor leaders at the helm of affairs. Those who have nothing, those who have no business in politics, they are the one running the country. They are only there to serve. So many of them are there to, not all of them. So many of them are there to serve their own interests. And we only hope that in the forthcoming election, the right leader emerged.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Vincent. I really appreciate you. This man has been a blessing to this program. He has been a blessing to this program. So viewers at home, I believe you enjoyed the program for today on Economy Today. See you next time. Bye.